بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
Thank you, Samir, for the effort you have made in inviting me to be here. And as I come to Morocco, I find myself falling in love with Morocco, yes, falling in love with Morocco. The subject of Hijrah is one which is critically important wherever believers are facing persecution and do not have the strength and the power to be able to protect themselves. It was because in Mecca there were those people who were slaves and semi-slaves and could not be protected by the tribe because of tribal law. And they were being persecuted and being killed, that our Prophet, Allah's blessing be upon him, set the example of Hijrah. And he asked them to migrate to a Christian country, Abyssinia. And they went to Abyssinia, and Ja'far, the son of Abu Talib, radiallahu ta'ala anhuma, who is not a slave, not a semi-slave, but he probably was sent there to be a leader of their group. And the negus of Abyssinia provided them with security. Similarly, when Nabi Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam, his uncle Abu Talib died, and the new head of the tribe of Banu Hashim was Abu Lahab, who was his uncle, but who was very hostile to him. And the tribe would no longer give him protection, and his life was in danger. Then he and the entire community of Muslims, they made hijrah to the city of Yathrib in the north, which is now renamed as Medina. Nabi Ibrahim alayhi salam, when he destroyed the temple, the idols in the temple, and they built a fire for him and they threw him in the fire. But Allah saved him. He could not continue to live amongst them. And then he made hijrah with his nephew Lut alayhi salam to a land which Allah has blessed for all of mankind, the Holy Land. So we see the example of hijrah. If you are also living in a place where your fate is being threatened, that security, not your physical security, but the security of your fate and that of your family and your children, then as well hijrah becomes incumbent. And modern Western civilization is not only a godless civilization, it is not only a decadent civilization, but it is a civilization with magnificent powers of deception. Oh yes, unsurpassed powers of deception. And it is not content to live a godless and decadent way of life, but it is hell-bent on transforming the rest of mankind to be carbon copies of themselves. So if you are living in the West, you are Moroccan, but you left Morocco because of the British pound, and you went to live in Britain. Or you left Morocco because of the euro, and you went to live in France and in Belgium. You're going to lose your children. You're going to lose your grandchildren. When they come back to visit Morocco, they say, I can't live here. I can't live here. I want to go back home, because France is heaven and Morocco is hell. This is the transformation that takes place. And so hijrah is incumbent, not just when your physical life is threatened, but when your faith is also threatened.
And finally, Sheikh, the dream that you mentioned to me.
Well, The Surah Al-Kahf of the Quran must be recognized as the surah, as the French say, par excellence of Akhir Zaman. Because amongst the major signs of Akhir Zaman are Gog and Magog, and Gog and Magog are located in Surah Al-Kahf. Among the major signs of Akhir Zaman is Dajjal. And Dajjal is mentioned not by name, so you have to think to be able to penetrate and to recognize, but we don't have the time to do that exercise now. But I've done it in my book, Surah Al-Kahf and the Modern Age. But before I wrote that book, when I was on the way of trying to develop Islamic eschatology, it was 2001, and I was in South Africa with my wife, Aisha. And we were guests in a home, and we had lunch. And our host gave us a bedroom where we could rest, because in the evening there was a lecture. And there were two separate beds, single beds, so my wife was sleeping in one and I was sleeping in the other. And when I was asleep, I had a dream which was a vision. And in that dream, I saw Nabi Muhammad sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam. And I was standing behind him, so I could not see his face. And someone came to him and asked him a question about Surah Al-Kahf. And I heard the Prophet, Allah's blessing be upon him, answering the question. But when he was finished answering the question, I then asked very, very politely, "O Messenger of Allah, can I ask a question?" And he gave me permission. And then I said, "O Messenger of Allah, in answering that question about Surah Al-Kahf, you said this and you said that and you said that, but you did not say this and you did not say that and you did not say that." And he smiled. And he said, "You have been blessed with the knowledge of Surah Al-Kahf." This was a dream. This was more than 20 years ago. You've been blessed with the knowledge of Surah Al-Kahf. This was a true dream, because after having this dream, I then went on to write, some 5 years later, Surah Al-Kahf in the Modern Age, and there are people whose lives were changed because of that book. I wrote after that an Islamic view of Gog and Magog in the modern world. I wrote after that a tafsir, or a commentary on Surah Al-Kahf. And also I wrote several books on Dajjal since that dream.
I hope that you come back to Fez, inshallah, again and again. The people here really love you. And as you saw today, the mother of one of your students literally crawled up the stairs because she broke her ankle.
Yes, I was astonished. I was astonished at this Moroccan elderly sister with a broken foot. And for me, it was difficult to climb the stairs to come up to this apartment, which is a lovely, spacious apartment, mashallah, Samir, and perfect for me to meet my students and have the sessions here in my visit to Morocco for the first time. But this elderly sister, with her daughter who is a student of medicine, to climb these stairs, and part of it is a winding stairs, And she did it with a walking stick and with a broken foot, and she literally crawled up. I said, MashaAllah, may Allah bless her. This is what Morocco can produce. Yes, people whose hearts have such love for the deen.